Welcome back, everyone. Get ready, because today we're diving into something really, truly mind-bending.
Oh, yeah. This one's a doozy.
We're talking about the Pauli-Jung Conjecture.
You know, where physics and psychology
Yeah, like atoms and archetypes?
supposedly get all intertwined.
Exactly. We've got a whole bunch of articles and study notes to help us unpack this thing.
Should be fun trying to make sense of it all.
Well, that's what these deep dives are for, right? To really wrestle with these complex ideas.
Absolutely. And this conjecture, it really challenges how we think about, well, everything.
It suggests that the universe might be a lot more interconnected, a lot more meaningful than we tend to assume.
Way more than we realize, yeah.
So to get a handle on this conjecture, we need to start with the minds behind it.
Wolfgang Pauli and Carl Jung.
What a pair, right? You've got this Nobel Prize-winning physicist.
Known as the conscience of physics, no less.
And then you've got this pioneering psychologist who, dove headfirst into the depths of the human psyche.
Unlikely duo, for sure. But that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
Okay, so first up, Wolfgang Pauli.
Now, this guy's contributions to physics, they're immense.
I mean, he came up with the Pauli exclusion principle, right?
That's the one. Think of it like an exclusive club for electrons.
Okay, I'm listening.
Each electron gets its own unique seat. Within an atom, no two electrons allowed in the same seat, ever.
So it's like a super strict seating chart for these tiny particles.
Exactly. And you know what? This principle, it's not just some theoretical idea tucked away in a textbook.
It has real-world implications.
Oh, huge implications. It affects how we understand how atoms behave, how elements interact.
Wow.
Even the stability of stars.
So this principle is woven into the very fabric of reality.
Pretty much. But here's where it gets interesting. While Pauli was making these groundbreaking discoveries in physics, he was also dealing with some serious personal stuff, a real crisis. Led him to seek out Carl Jung back in 1932.
Ah, so that's where their paths cross. Now, to understand their collaboration, we need to talk about Jung a bit, starting with the collective unconscious.
Okay, imagine this. A vast, universal library.
Yeah.
Filled with ancestral experiences, archetypal images.
Like what kind of images?
Think recurring patterns. The hero, the mother, the shadow.
Right, those universal figures we see in myths and stories across cultures.
Exactly. Jung believed these archetypes are shared by all humanity, part of this collective unconscious.
So like a deeper structure to human experience, something that goes beyond our individual consciousness.
That's the idea. And get this. Jung believed these archetypes actually influence our experiences. They shape how we see the world.
Okay, that's a pretty powerful concept.
It is. Now, here's where things get even more mind-boggling. Synchronicity. Ever have those meaningful coincidences?
Yeah, those moments where you're like, no way, that can't just be chance.
Exactly. Jung called those synchronicities. He believed they hinted at a deeper order, a place where mind and matter are connected.
So defying our usual notions of cause and effect.
You got it. And guess what? Pauli himself experienced quite a few of these synchronicities.
Really? Like what?
Well, there's this famous dream he had about a physics congress. The dream was full of these images, all representing polarization in physics.
It's like his unconscious was mirroring his scientific work. What did Jung make of that dream?
Jung interpreted it as a reflection of the complementary relationship in a self-regulating system, even saw it as a symbol of masculine and feminine principles.
So even in the seemingly random world of dreams, they were finding these intriguing connections, almost like they were uncovering a hidden language that spanned both the inner and outer worlds.
And that's a perfect segue to the heart of their collaboration, the meeting point of quantum mechanics and the psyche.
Okay, let's get into that. Now, I remember hearing about this concept of complementarity in quantum mechanics.
Ah, yes. So complementarity says that certain properties of particles, you can't measure them simultaneously.
Like what?
It's like trying to see the head and tails of a spinning coin at the same time. You can see one or the other, but never both at once.
Makes sense. But how does that relate to the psyche?
Well, Pauli, he saw a parallel. He thought about the relationship between conscious and unconscious processes.
Okay.
They seem to exclude each other, right? Like the head and tail of that coin.
Yeah, I guess so.
But both are absolutely necessary for a complete picture of the psyche, just like both properties are necessary for a full description of that particle.
So they're finding this incredible mirror between the laws of physics and the workings of the mind.
That's the beauty of it. And this leads us to the core of their theory, the Pauli-Jung Conjecture.
Okay, the conjecture. Lay it on me.
At its heart, it's about dual aspect monism.
Dual aspect monism. That's a mouthful. Break it down for me.
Imagine a tapestry, right? One side, you see a beautiful image, but flip it over, and you see all the intricate threads holding it together.
Okay, I'm visualizing it.
Dual aspect monism is saying that the mental and physical realms, they're not separate entities.
They're two sides of the same thing.
Precisely. Two aspects of a single fundamental reality.
So it's like two sides of a coin.
Yeah.
One coin, but two different faces.
Perfect analogy. And here's where it gets really wild. The conjecture suggests that those seemingly random events in the quantum world,
You know, the stuff that seemed to happen just by chance.
right, they might actually have meaning connected to an observer's subjective experience and those archetypal patterns we were talking about.
Hold on. Are you saying our minds are somehow entangled with the very fabric of reality?
That's the implication, that meaning itself might be woven into the universe.
Whoa. My mind is officially blown. Now, Jung had a term for this fundamental unifying reality, right?
He did. He called it unus mundus.
Unus mundus. It sounds almost mystical.
Jung described it as a world beyond space and time, a transcendental reality,
Where everything originates.
from which both mind and matter emerge, yeah. Imagine a source, like a wellspring, where both our thoughts and emotions and the physical world around us all spring forth.
Okay, this is seriously stretching my brain. So
Yeah.
we're talking about a reality where the line between in here and out there gets blurry.
Exactly. And the Pauli-Jung Conjecture, it's an attempt to make sense of this interconnectedness, to understand how these seemingly separate domains, the physical and the psychological, might actually be deeply intertwined.
It's a pretty radical idea.
It is, but it's had a pretty significant impact on a lot of different fields.
Really? So it's more than just a philosophical curiosity.
Oh, yeah. This conjecture sparked research in consciousness studies, neuroscience, even philosophy of science. It's even influenced those quantum mind theories.
The ones that explore how quantum phenomena might play a role in consciousness.
Those are the ones.
This is incredible. So
Yeah.
their collaboration, it's still shaping how we think about the universe and ourselves.
Definitely. What's really fascinating is that this challenges the classic scientific view of us just being passive observers. The Pauli-Jung Conjecture, it suggests we might be active participants. Our minds might be more entangled with reality than we ever imagined.
I need a minute to process all of this. We've covered so much. Pauli's mind-blowing physics, Jung's exploration of the psyche, and now this conjecture that tries to connect it all.
A lot to take in, that's for sure.
But that's what makes this so exciting, is it? There's so much more to uncover, to explore.
Absolutely. And a whole lot more to ponder, too. And you know what? When you start thinking about what the Pauli-Jung Conjecture has to say about meaning, it gets even more profound.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this meaning aspect.
Well, if mind and matter are really fundamentally intertwined like this, then meaning, something we usually associate with our thoughts and feelings,
Right.
it could actually be like the missing link, the key to understanding those correlations we see between our mental states and what's happening in the physical world.
Wait, so you're saying meaning isn't just this subjective thing, like just a human construct?
Exactly. It could be a fundamental aspect of reality itself.
Wow. That's a massive idea. It's like suddenly the universe isn't just a bunch of particles and forces. It's also like a realm of meaning.
Right. It really makes you rethink our place in the cosmos, doesn't it?
It totally does. No wonder the Pauli-Jung Conjecture has sparked so much discussion and research.
Well, for sure. It opens up so many exciting avenues to explore, new ways of thinking about, well, everything.
It's like a whole new paradigm for understanding the universe and ourselves.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Pauli, we've talked about his exclusion principle,
Right.
but he did so much more in physics, didn't he? Didn't he also predict the existence of the neutrino?
He did. Back in 1930, he was trying to explain some weird observations in beta decay.
Okay.
And he proposed this radical idea, a neutral particle, almost massless, that we now call the neutrino.
So he saw something wasn't adding up.
Yeah.
And just imagined this entirely new particle to explain it.
It was a pretty bold move. For a while, it was just a theoretical concept. But then, boom, it was experimentally confirmed in the 1950s.
Wow. Talk about vindication. It's a testament to his incredible insight.
Totally. He wasn't afraid to push the boundaries of what we knew about the universe. He wasn't just working within the existing framework of physics.
Exactly. He was expanding it. It's mind-boggling that this brilliant physicist who was uncovering all these secrets of the physical world was also so drawn to Jung's ideas. The unconscious synchronicity.
It's an interesting juxtaposition, isn't it?
It really is. I'm curious, how did their collaboration actually work? Did they write papers together? Did they, like, have regular meetings?
Well, it started with letters. Lots and lots of letters. They exchanged ideas, insights, even personal reflections.
So they were really digging into this stuff, trying to find those connections between their fields.
Oh, yeah, they were going deep. And eventually, their collaboration went beyond letters.
Yeah.
They actually co-authored a book together.
Wow. What was it called?
The Interpretation of Nature and the Psyche.
A physicist and a psychologist writing a book together. I can only imagine the kind of conversations they must have had.
It's a unique blend of perspectives, that's for sure. Pauli dives into the philosophical implications of quantum mechanics.
Right.
And Jung explores synchronicity in those archetypes. They were both searching for this deeper understanding of reality, a way to bridge the divide between the physical and the psychological.
Makes you wonder what they would think of science today. Like,
Yeah.
what would their reaction be to quantum computing or the latest discoveries in neuroscience?
Now, that's an intriguing thought. I imagine they would be excited by the progress, but also, maybe they'd remind us about the importance of interdisciplinary thinking.
To keep looking for connections between different fields.
Exactly. They really thrived on that. They were constantly making connections between seemingly unrelated areas. I think they'd want us to keep asking those big questions, the ones about the nature of reality, consciousness, the universe.
To not be afraid to push those boundaries.
Exactly.
They probably also remind us that we're still just scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many mysteries left to unravel.
So much more to discover.
So much to wonder about.
Okay, so where do we go from here? What are the takeaways for us non-physicists, non-psychologists out there trying to make sense of all this?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that the universe might be far more complex, far more interconnected than we ever imagined, more mysterious and full of wonder than we give it credit for.
And that maybe meaning isn't just something we humans create. Maybe it's baked into the fabric of reality itself.
It's a powerful possibility. And the Pauli-Jung Conjecture really challenges us to consider a reality where mind and matter are two sides of the same coin, deeply intertwined, inseparable.
And connected in ways we're only beginning to understand.
Exactly. The exploration is just beginning.
This has been an incredible deep dive. The Pauli-Jung Conjecture really has stretched my thinking. It's amazing to think that it all started with a physicist seeking guidance from a psychologist.
An unlikely pairing that led to some truly groundbreaking ideas.
It really highlights the power of crossing those disciplinary boundaries. When diverse perspectives come together, we can unlock incredible insights.
I completely agree. It's those unexpected connections that often lead to the most profound discoveries.
It's also fascinating how the Pauli-Jung Conjecture challenges that traditional scientific view that the observer and the observed are totally separate.
Right. It really disrupts that idea. Their work suggests that we're not just passive observers of the universe, we're active participants. Our minds, our consciousness could be intertwined with the very fabric of reality.
And that idea that meaning itself could be fundamental to the universe, not just a human construct, it's just mind-blowing. It makes you question everything.
It does, and it opens up so many more questions than it answers.
Which is kind of the point, right? To keep asking those questions, to keep exploring. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Pauli-Jung Conjecture, is there a final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Well, if the universe is this meaningful tapestry woven from mind and matter, as Pauli and Jung suggested, what does that mean for us? How does that change our understanding of consciousness, our place in the cosmos?
Wow, that's a powerful question. Definitely something for us all to ponder.
Pauli and Jung, they gave us so much to think about. Even decades later, their work is still relevant, still pushing us to expand our understanding of reality.
It's inspiring, really. It reminds us to stay curious, to keep exploring, to keep searching for those connections.
Absolutely. And to never underestimate the power of collaboration. Who knows what groundbreaking ideas are waiting to be discovered when we bring different perspectives together.
Well said. This deep dive has been just a glimpse into the fascinating world of the Pauli-Jung Conjecture. We encourage you to continue exploring this topic. Keep questioning, keep discovering, and who knows what incredible connections you might find. Until next time.